So it's the end of the year and the battery's dying. Give me a minute. Oh, right, that's better. This is just a very quick end of year roundup. This is only my second complete year on YouTube. At the end of my first year, I finished the year with 13,000 subscribers. I had 6 million minutes watched, which is pretty amazing from a standing start, and 1.2 million views, discrete views, individual views, which is pretty amazing. Over the last 12 months, my second complete year, I've had more or less double that, 12 million minutes watched by 2.24 million discrete individual views, so less actual views, but the people are watching for longer. And as you may have noticed, we've just turned 30,000 subscribers just before the end of the year. I quipped back in July, I think it was, when I did my 20,000 subscriber Q&A, that we should try and get to 30 by the end of the year. And I didn't expect it to be anything like possible or anything like as close as I thought it would be, and I genuinely didn't think it was going to happen until actually last week. We passed the threshold on Friday night, I think it was. It's Sunday that I'm recording this now. So if you're a new subscriber here, welcome, and if you're an old hand, well, welcome back, and thank you so much for your patience over the last year, or perhaps 2 years if you've been here for that long. We end the year again in a bit of a strange place. The channel's been a little bit in maintenance mode this year, because I've had a huge amount of actual jobby job type worky work in. One of the biggest jobs I've ever done tied me up for the best part of 3 months earlier in the year. Produced some of my best work, I think. Yes, it is only MDF, but it painted up very nicely and it went in very well. That's part of the big job series. I also started spraying, putting a spray finish on things for the first time. I started a podcast this year. If you don't know the podcast, it's measuringuppodcast.com. Measuring Up Podcast and all the podcast players of your choice. If you don't listen to it, go and check it out. Me and Gosforth Handyman, Andy Mack, Gosforth Handyman on YouTube, of course, just chatting every couple of weeks for an hour or so, sometimes a little bit more. And if you do support the show through Patreon, you also get a half hour or so of after show of just us whining and moaning about some of our YouTube comments, so that's always entertaining. Worth a listen if you're in the business, or if you just want to hear me and Andy chat about life being a one-man band and being a sort of minor YouTuber. Going forwards, well, there'll be a few more bits and pieces like that. We're just about to round out the second series of the podcast, and we'll be starting again next year sometime in 2019. There's a provisional date of we think the 25th of February for the first episode of season 3, but that's a movable piece. There's nothing written in stone yet. Going forwards, as far as YouTube goes, I want to start doing some more series. I have sort of semi-promised or talked about a couple of series in the past which have never materialised, and I will be getting my teeth into those this year, one of which is the Tracksaw Workshop. It is coming, I promise you, and the other one is the mobile bench build, possibly with a drop-down hinged rail type of thing, a la Festool MFT. These are all things which require a great deal of time and effort to put together, and I do need to sort of try and shape my work a little bit more so it doesn't sort of get in the way of the YouTube quite so much. I am having to step back from some of the bigger work jobs, and if you do listen to the podcast, Andy and I have talked about this. I am getting older, and as part of getting older, you get a little bit smarter, or at least wiser, or at least begin to accept that you're not able to do the things that sometimes you once were. I've done a couple of very big installs recently, which really creased me. They almost finished me off, and I've decided that I don't want to do those kind of big installs anymore. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do. Instead, I'm going to try and figure out something else to do that is smaller, maybe sort of discrete one-off builds that aren't fitted. So no more installs. But that's for me to decide to what, about work and what to do. Obviously, I need to make a living still, so I've got to find something that's equally profitable, but also gives me the time to spend making these YouTube videos, which I enjoy and which seem to be reasonably popular. As always, the YouTube life remains an experiment. I had quite a popular video series last week where I went through one of my biggest mistakes, and that was a short set of 5-minute videos posted daily. They went down very well. One of the other things I do is I post short video, I call them snippets, little 1-minute or sub 1-minute videos to Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, consider it, is all I ask. I used to be a photographer, I take a decent snap, and I use Instagram for all my photographic work and these short video snippets just for fun. I posted a few of those to YouTube yesterday, and I've never had such a hostile response to anything. I don't think my likes to dislikes ratio has gone way over towards the dislike side, perhaps thereby proving that sub-minute videos are not the things to post on YouTube. This is what I thought, but I thought they might be interesting to show you what you are missing out on by not following me on Patreon or indeed on Instagram. Patreon supporters also get access to these little snippets and a few more as well, of course. I want to thank all my Patreon supporters throughout the year, and all of them. There's a certain amount of churn rate. I know some of the names have been with me right from the very start, and I'm very appreciative of everybody who donates towards the channel, because it is literally keeping the lights on. YouTube ad revenue is all well and good, but it does vary spectacularly depending on how long people watch and which geography they are in. So it's not something I can really rely upon at my level with the channel as it is at this sort of level. We need a lot more subscribers and a lot more views, I think. So there'll be some more experimentation going forwards, but as always, I hope you stay with me. Thank you very much indeed for watching so far, and I will see you next year. Take care.